Hi, hi! This is a Russian epic, Emilian the Fool, or some versions call it as Emilian the Lucky Fool, and some other versions even names the character as Ivan instead of Emilian. And here is the story. In a small village in Russia, there lived three brothers. While the first two brothers were intelligent and witty, the younger brother was a moron, and that was Emilian. So the two elder brothers one day decided to go to the town to sell some goods and make some money for their respective families. Before deciding to leave, they called the third brother, Emilian, and ordered, "Listen, you fool, while we are out to the town, you better respect and obey our wives. We will then buy red kaftan, red shirt, and red boots for you from the market." Emilian said, "Sure, brothers, I will treat them like my mother and I will obey them." The brothers then left for the town and Emilian was just laying down doing nothing. On seeing this, one of the brothers' wife came to him and said, "See, Emilian, your brothers ordered you to obey us and help us in the household. Go to the stream and fetch some water." Reluctantly, Emilian walked towards the stream with pails to fetch water. And while Emilian was fetching water, suddenly he saw a pike fish inside one of the buckets. "Thank God, I will cook this pike fish and eat it. And I will not share this with the ladies," he thought. While he was thinking where to cook the fish suddenly spoke in a human voice. It said, "Don't eat me. If you put me back in the water, you will have good luck." "What good luck can you bring to me, fish?" inquired Emilian. "Whatever you order, that will be done immediately. Like for instance, just say, by the pike's command and at my request, go home, you all pails, and sit in the kitchen." And the moment Emilian uttered these words, he saw the pails filled with water reached home by themselves, causing amazement and wonder to his sisters-in-law. A few days later, Emilian was again lazing around and he was just trying to while away his time. And the elder brother's wife approached to him and said, "We need wood for the fire. Just go and get some good planks." Emilian then took 2 axes and climbed on the sledge. After going a mile, he remembered the pike's gift for him. "By the pike's command and at my request, quickly take me to the forest, you sledge," he charged. The sledge immediately zoomed past on a lightning speed, crossing a town that people got crammed into the corners to make way for him. It looked awful and everyone shouted, "Catch him! Catch the stupid fool! Just make him stop!" Unfortunately, they couldn't control him. Emilian happily drove into the forest, unaware of the ruckus he had created all through the way. Looking at one of the axes, he ordered, "One of you go and cut the trees and make a log out of it, and the other go and chop them into billets." In a moment, the firewood was ready and piled up on sledge. "Make a heavy cudgel for me," Emilian ordered one of the axes. With the cudgel placed on the top of the load, he drove off to the same path to return home, but he was unaware of the fact that people of the same town were waiting desperately to catch him. The people caught hold of him and tried to pull him down. Emilian quickly instructed the cudgel, "By the pike's command and at my request, go and smash all these people." The cudgel jumped off and knocked the townspeople, who then fell on the ground like scattered sheaves of corns, heavily bruised. Emilian gathered the woods, arranged it well, and walked past the injured people who were crying for help. He then returned to his house, handed over the logs, and again laid down. The townspeople then went to the king's court with a signed petition to denounce the fool for his wrongdoings. The chief of the group said, "We tried to stop him, my king, but he did not succumb to it. We should beguile him with wit, and the best idea will be to promise him a red kaftan, red shirt, and red boots." The king then ordered his guards to carry out the proposition of his people. The guards informed Emilian, "Hey fool, go to the king to get your red boots, red kaftan, and red shirt." Emilian then sat on a stove and commanded, "By Pike's command and at my request, take me to the king's palace." Emilian arrived at the king's court, and the king was about to announce his death sentence, but his daughter stopped him from doing so, because the young princess fell for Emilian's charm and decided to marry him. And anyways, the father couldn't disagree. So the ceremonial marriage took place, and the king ordered them to be placed in a tub and thrown into the stream, because he just wanted to get rid of them. The newly wedded couple floated in the tub for many days. "Can you just get us to the shore now?" said the wife. "It's been quite some time in the waters." She got bored. "By Pike's command and at my humble request, cast us to the shore and break this tub open," Emilian demanded. Finally, he and his wife reached the shore and stepped out of the tub. After roaming around, the wife pestered Emilian to build a big house for her. Emilian again uttered the order, "By the Pike's command and at my humble request, build us a mansion just opposite to the king's palace." The wish was immediately fulfilled, and they now have a mansion against their name overlooking the king's palace. The next day, when the king woke up, the guards ran to his room and said, "Your Majesty, someone has built a mansion overnight in the palace compound." The king was angry and has ordered his commanders to find out the owner of the mansion and summon them immediately. When the commander returned, the king investigated. "Come on, tell me quick, who is the troublemaker?" The king then saw his daughter and Emilian standing behind the chief commander. He was informed that they were the ones who built the mansion. The king's anger melted and he acquitted them. Thus, Emilian the fool lived with his wife in the palace under the king's kindness and blessings, and they all began to live together, flourishing. After all, Emilian was not a fool as people thought him to be. So sometimes meeting a fish can bring good luck, but first you have to catch a fish. Emilian gets 8 wishes in the tale, and we don't hear much about Emilian after he gets to marry the princess. But then, of course, when something happens like that, you rarely do hear about them. One interesting fact, according to a theory, is that Emilian the fool, as he was originally created, was not intended to be a fool at all. Because at that time, the Russian word durak, which means a fool, did not have any negative connotation. It was just used to refer the youngest son in the family, and it was only later it obtained a new meaning from which the ambiguity arose. It is inevitably the case that Emilian is a positive and jovial character in all the tales that he is mentioned in. So that is the Russian epic Emilian the Lucky Fool. Hasta mañana!